Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Indeed, one man's meat is another man's pomo in some other place. One man's fish is another man's frog. In all, why you reject one, another person is accepting it in full course. Hey, you will find out in the moment where our rulers, traditional monarchs, are even telling people, please, any Fulanis that they are rejecting, in any locality they can come to his domain and live. This is quite interesting. I just hope that your village head is not the one involved here, or not even my own village head. We'll find out in the moment where this monarch is coming from and his reasons for actually willing to keep the Fulanis in his domain and keep them comfortable in his kingdom. But before we go into the newspaper to find out who this person is and what are his reasons for accepting Fulanis really, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube, where it's no longer news that there are a lot of crises going on in the country, particularly in the settlement of Fulani Herdsmen in some parts of Nigeria. The youth of some states in Nigeria are really doing all they could to ensure that the Fulani Herdsmen vacate their land due to the numerous allegations placed on them, especially on their mode of rearing cattle. While some states in Nigeria are looking at driving away the Fulani herdsmen, the Olowu of Iwo land, Iwo town in Osun state, is willing to receive the displaced Fulani herdsmen with his whole heart, with all his chest. Well, this is interesting. Well, as according to the news report, the Olowu of Iwo land, Iwo town, in a chat where they discussed on issues concerning Fulani herdsmen. Firstly, the traditional ruler showed sympathy on all those in the southwest who have lost their lives as a result of the violence between the Yorubas and the Fulanis in the country. Any Fulani willing to relocate can actually come to Iwo land. When asked about how he managed issues on the headers, Dolowo replied that although there may be issues concerning herders and farmers, but they manage it well. He also stated that in his town, the Fulanis come to the palace whenever there are issues arising. While the interview was ongoing, the traditional ruler also gave his own peace of mind of what he thinks in regards to what makes the herdsmen act the way they do. According to him, when you neglect people for too long in the bush without counseling, without electrification, without water, they become animals. He further made it clear that the Fulani herdsmen were neglected in the bush without electricity and water. According to Olowu, he thinks that the issue arising between farmers and herders can be solved through proper education on ranching. He also stated that he had called on the government to educate the herdsmen on the proper way of ranching in the 21st century and not the old-fashioned method of rearing cattle in the street, which is even not hygienic. Dolowo admitted that he has adopted a process which he wants the government to replicate. He authoritatively made it clear that any Fulani herdsman who is willing to relocate is free to go to Iwo land, but there are plans to give them a means of identity which include database and giving out of ID card, which would have either Iwo Fulani or Iwo Hausa written on it. What do you think of this Olowu's interview? Do you think giving herdsmen a free passage to Iwo town is the best thing? Wait first. Congratulations to Fulani herdsmen. Finally, you have gotten a place where you can actually abode in southwest. Osun state is still in southwest. Iwo town is in Osun. Osun is in southwest. That's the Yoruba speaking part. I don't know how Sunday go. Our own Sunday go. Chief Sunday will take this one. Yorubas will say kokoro tó ń jẹ̀fọ́ abẹ́fọ́ ló wà. Wàhálà dé o. Okay, it's all right. This is a monarch talking, and he said, "Oh yeah, Fulani is wherever you are. Osun State say you should come. Oh, please don't disturb yourself. Osun, I'm not the one that said. Oh, nobody should quote me. Please, it is Iwo or Oba himself that said it, that they are free to come. If you are willing to relocate, go to Iwo. Sambisa may not be available. Iwo in Osun State is available. The monarch has said you should come. He's going to give you ID card. So everybody, anybody that they are pursuing in that state, please go to Iwo town. There, you are more resilient, you are more acceptable there. But let's hope that the Fulanis that caused the other towns, that such that they couldn't cope to the point that they say they don't want them, because those ones are the criminal ones. Let's hope that the ones that the Oba is calling, the one that Oba is calling is not the ones that he will call back and Olowu, sorry, yes, Olowu, the one that Olowu is calling is not the one that will consume the town and he begin to call the federal government to come with militarization force and come and rescue his people, because this one and this one is happening. Let's be careful what we invite. But he knows better. Yeah, according to him, it has been working for them. Each time there's any issue, they find this particular set of Fulanis that are actually in Olowu's domain. They're actually very nice type, if you ask me. The ones that obey the rules of the land, the ones that whenever there's a crisis, they come around. It's a nice one. If they can tame the other ones too, they can bring them to also those ones who are they taken to Oyo and they're still looking for going to Kwara. Kwara have given 7 days ultimatum for them to leave their land. That they're not that's a particular community there. If they are pursuing you, please go to Iwo in Osun State. The monarch is willing. But looking at what he said about training of the herdsmen, sentiment aside, that's a good one. Okay, it's a very brilliant one, because the truth is these guys have been in the bushes for how long? For a very long time, and they have gotten used to life inside the bush. In fact, they practically think like the environment they find themselves in. So telling them now to stay a stable life, electricity looks strange, and some of them giving birth, their children follow them in that same pastoral kind of lifestyle. I don't know. They may be home is forests to them. Home is where things are not coordinated, trees everywhere. Home is where you find, they fine tune themselves into nature. Maybe the cities may even be scaring them. But you need to bring them out, start reorientating them so that the next generation of Fulanis will, start thinking 21st century, but then it will take a lot of taming. Okay, but the patience, well, let's hope that it works well. You guys have heard it. Yorubas, you've all heard what your monarch has said. I guess we will do what we call a test on his experimentation. If it works, I guess all Nigerians should look towards adopting that style, because it is. Let's see how it works. Let the Fulanis go down to Iwo town and see how it will cope in the next 1 year. If it works, we can do what we call that. That's like a sample survey. It works, we can now kickstart it. But that's a wrap it.